Everybody good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, first of all, real proud of our team, 3-0. That was a classic game that was set up for a letdown with an emotional win last week. Lose our starting quarterback, really one of our team leaders, if not our overall team leader. Very quality program, top 20 in their division, well coached. They were 2-0. The first half was a thing of beauty by our defense. I think they only had 24 total snaps, which was really unheard of with that. We had the interception that ran it almost back for a touchdown that led to a touchdown. Defense was outstanding. Offense, I thought, did some good things. You know, it was really good for Timmy to be out there. I mean, he had started a game in 2 years, and I thought it was really good. There was a couple things, you know, early I know he'd like to have back, but there's nothing like experience. And then, you know, he started settling down and settling in. I think in that second quarter, obviously threw for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He made some plays with his feet. You know, the one play that was a bad snap that rolled back there and came down, and then he made a play out of nothing when things broke down. I thought that was a really big play early. You know, our defense held them to 1 of 12 on third downs. I mean, I think that was great. I think we were 7 of 15. But overall, I mean, we're 3-0. I'm really happy with our team, the way they came out and responded and put these guys away early. Now it's time for the real season, you know, with the Big 12 questions.
It was the first time in 2 years Timmy's been on the field. I know you said maybe it took a little bit of time for him to get more comfortable. What did you say to him maybe in that first quarter before he kind of, you know, got his rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, first quarter is like he hadn't played in 2 years. I mean, in fairness to him, you know, I mean, that's hard to do. And, but, you know, he settled down after a short period of time and really handled the offense very well. Very impressive on that last touchdown to JJ. That was really nice on the RPO. Just threw a perfect ball, and he had good command. I think his communication was really good, and that's really what you worry about when a guy hadn't played, you know, really started a game in 2 years. But I thought he handled himself well. It was really good to get Dylan in the game too, just to get his feet wet. Give him a chance to go out there and do his thing. And he's our backup quarterback right now, so it was good to get him some snaps too.
Yes, you talked about last week that you were going to you weren't going to change the offense to suit Timmy, but you were going to do some things maybe to help benefit what he was able to do. What were some of the things you were able to let him do with his own ability?
Well, I mean, we wanted to let him run our offense and develop within the offense instead of just maybe with a lesser team. It's easy just to line up and try to run it. We wanted him to play and develop, and really felt like that he did that. It was really good for him to run our offense. Now, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of what I'd call special plays. It was a pretty vanilla overall, but, you know, I think he did a good job. Had a couple explosive pass plays that was really good to see.
Coach, on the offensive line there, they seem to buy Timmy a lot of time to help him get comfortable and let plays develop. Yeah. You're going into conference play next week. How confident are you in those guys?
Yeah, I mean, we played a lot of offensive linemen. I mean, in the past, we've had 5 guys that kind of went with it. It's been a little bit of musical chairs, but like I said at the very first, I mean, we got a lot of guys who can play. You know, we have a lot of depth, so a lot of guys played tonight. You know, we're just trying to settle in with the 5 guys, so hopefully we'll do that here in the near future. But the good thing is we got a lot of depth.
No turnovers tonight. How important to me?
That was really our whole deal. I mean, to be honest with you, we talked about, man, let's not turn the ball over. You know, the first couple of weeks, you know, we had those turnovers, especially in the red zone, and kind of took away from our momentum and everything. But we protect the football, and so when you protect the football, you know, good things happen, and that was really the really good takeaway offensively tonight.
Darren's kind of stressed that Timmy's been one snap away this entire time, so knowing that he was going to be the guy going forward on Monday, how do you kind of approach this week of practice? What sort of emphasis did you see in him taking over?
Yeah, I mean, it was real comfortable. And here's what we got to remember: like, he started 9 or 10 games as a true freshman. He almost beat us right out here, and everybody saw that. So he just needs to get out there, and he'll get better and better, I think, each game. You know, the moment's not too big for him. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing with a quarterback. He wasn't nervous. I mean, he was, like, excited to play. And so I thought that was really good. He's handled practice real well. You know, my experience is each week a new guy comes in, they get their feet wet, and it starts to become, you know, more and more comfortable with everything.
Kobe had another great night tonight.
Yeah.
How great is it to have a receiver like that when you have a backup coming in?
Yeah, well, here's the deal with Kobe. Like, I mean, he had his best practices since he's been here the last 2 weeks, and it carried over. And so that's it. Like, he is practicing like a champ, and it carries over. And so that's maturity, that's growth, that's a good thing. Playing at a high level, I think the receivers are getting more physical, blocking downfield. I'll be curious to see, how we did playing without the ball.
You made a change at center in the first half, putting in Caden Kittler
Yeah.
instead of Drake Metcalf. Is that because of the early movement? And
Yeah. I mean, we had 2 false starts and we rolled one back there, and we had a couple of those things last week, so we got to get that corrected. I mean, it doesn't matter who the center is. I mean, we're not gonna move early. We're not gonna snap it early. We got to get that corrected. Caden Keller, we got a lot of confidence in him. I'm excited to watch him on film, see what he did. He's been practicing really well. But Drake's a really good player, but we got to solve that.
Defense backs really showed up today. I think they were 1 of 9 in the first half.
Yeah.
Negative passer rating. What you see out of them?
Yeah, I mean they're playing at a high level. We had a couple guys down. Mask. He didn't play. We held him out. Braden Marshall play almost had a pick 6 right there, and the guy's just been waiting. I mean, he's like a ball hawk, and he picked the ball off. Didn't surprise me at all. Almost scored. We got a lot of depth back there, and we're going to need that depth now that we're in conference.
I was going to ask you about Jordan Mack. What's he dealing with, and what's the likelihood that he plays?
Yeah, I mean, we're hopeful we'll get him back next week. Ricky Barber didn't play tonight. I mean, he's one of our better players. We're hopeful to get him back next week, and kind of gearing up for this conference, run, and we need all hands on deck.
Coach, I wanted to be for you and going into the conference run, getting some of these younger guys like, Jordan McDonald, Timmy McLean, Dylan Rich, just reps in the game and meaningful reps, not just
Yeah, and I think you just said meaningful reps, letting them run the offense, letting them play. I think that's real important that we've done, and we're going to need that. I mean, this conference run is a gauntlet. We still have 5 road games in conference. There's not a lot of teams that have that, and like we said, man, we're the travelingest team in the country, so we've got to be ready to go, and that experience and that depth, that quality depth, and it really pays off as the season winds down.
Xavier Townsend's such a good punter returner. Isn't it a shame that
Oh.
2 of them now have been called back due to penalties?
Yeah, that broke my heart right there. That we talked about all week about we're going to return a punt. We knew we'd been close, and he's dynamic, and they called a hold. I mean, we had 2 touchdowns called back. That was probably the biggest negative of the night. We just got to do a better job, apparently. We'll see the film and look at it, but yeah, that was heartbreaking because that was like electric. How long was it? 85, 80, something like that? 92. Come on, 92. That hurt. Still hurts.
You look at R.J. Harvey's performance tonight. We saw that kind of second half against Boise State. You seem to step up. You seem to give a focus really on him early on to get him the ball and let him kind of take over.
Yeah, but him and Johnny, that 1-2 punch right there. They're really elite type backs. They can make stuff out of nothing. So it was really good. He settled in, had a couple touchdowns. Johnny had a couple good runs too.
Talked about the switch at center in game. You also had a different left guard. So what was the influence behind the decision to start? Our left guard got banged up. He wasn't 100%. Adrian Medley's been a guy that's been coming on and really, pushing. And like I said, Bula had a little bit of injury last week. Adrian's a good player, and he ended up getting a little banged up himself. So the good thing is we just plugged in another guy and didn't miss much. So that's the depth I'm talking about.
How is John Rice helpful to Timmy McLean and the coaching staff this week?
John Rice is a champ. I mean, everything he does. I mean, he's been in his hip pocket, him and Dylan. I mean, everything. He's on the sideline. He's looking deep. He's communicating with them. I mean, he's doing everything he can to help our team. He's a real leader, like a real leader. And so we're very blessed to have him.
I know you said it was important for Dylan Riss to get some action now that he's the backup. Can you talk more about his performance? He was close to connecting on one of those for a new touchdown.
Yeah. He threw a good ball on that deep post right there. We just come up a little short and didn't haul it in, but we wanted him to play too, and he's got a very, very good arm. The one scrimmage we had that we let him go live, he was playing like it was a Super Bowl. I mean, so he's got a lot of got a lot of stuff, good stuff to him.
Coach, what do you tell the guys after a successful game like this, going into the first road conference game playing against Kansas State?
Yeah, I think what you do, you put the season in segments. That was non-conference. And we took care of business. We're 3-0, and I really feel like we got better. There were some really good things that happened tonight. So now it's conference, and that's when everything turns up. And our guys understand that, and we're going to the defending champs on their home turf, another really tough place to play. I know they had a tough loss today. We're going to get their best. That's part of it, man. That's part of it, and we're excited to start our conference.
Coach, Jared Baker had a huge tackle on special teams. What's that mean when a wide receiver goes in there and lays it?
We're talking about in that kickoff team, man. We need to go down there in that kickoff team angry, and we need to put a little fear in people want to catch it. And for the first time this year, we did that, and then they fair caught it afterwards. So, I thought it was like that was big time.
That's great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.